Okay guys, welcome back in. In this video we are going to look at the settings, and you will find settings all the way down at the bottom. Click on settings and you can see that there are general settings, settings for writing, reading, discussion, media, permalinks. So let's just look at each one of these screens individually and kind of walk through them. Under the general settings tab, this is where you're going to see general information. There's your site title. There's your tagline. And you remember we can also change these over in the theme area. Here's the address of your website, of the WordPress installation and of your website. The email address that you are using to log in. And if you want people to be able to register to your website, you can click anyone can register, and those with WordPress accounts or visitors to your site can register as users. And the default role for a new member is going to be subscriber. That way, again, depending on your installation and your theme, every time you update your blog, they will get an email letting them know that there's new content there. So I will set that to anyone can register. When they register initially, they are a subscriber, and when they do, you will find them over under users. Other things on this screen just concern themselves with your time zone, your date format, time format, etc., etc. So I'm going to save changes because I did change the member setup. Next, let's look at writing. All right, now writing means when you are blogging. Now, when you add a blog post, it will go to the default category that you have set here. I'm going to have it set at blogging, and that simply means every time I add a post, it will go under the blogging category in the standard format. Now, I don't post via email. Some people do. If you are interested in posting via email, you need to get familiar with this. Your mail server, these are settings that you're going to have to set up individually from your mail server, your login name, that sort of thing. I never post via email, so I'm not too concerned with it. And then we do have Ping-O-Matic here. When you publish a new post, WordPress automatically notifies the following site. So rpc.pingomatic.com is automatically put in there by default, and whenever you post, it sends this to Ping-O-Matic, and Ping-O-Matic does all kinds of interesting things. If you want to know more about it, I'm not going to go into it here. Go check it out for yourself. The next setting is going to be reading, and this determines how people view the site and what they see when they get here. For example, the front page displays, we've got it set where it displays our latest post. Remember, I could set it to a static page if I like. That's the way that I have some of my websites set up. But if you're doing a blog, you're typically going to let your latest post be on the front page. Okay, if you do want a static page, of course, again, you can set any page that you've set up as your home page. Blog posts show at most. That's going to be, it's set by default at 10, meaning that on the home page, they're going to see 10 posts, and then they're going to see a prompt to go to the next page. You can change that if you like. For example, on my Interviewing Authors website, I think I have the home page set to 20 or 25, and it just kind of scrolls forever. You see, if I scroll down through here, all of these are, I think there's 20 there. So that's what this setting is for. You determine how many blog posts you want, how many you want in your syndicated feeds. That's the RSS feed. Again, a little in depth for this conversation. All right. For each article in a feed, do you want to show the full text or a summary? If you're doing feeds like RSS, meaning people can actually draw the feed directly from your website. Again, RSS is a very in-depth conversation that you don't need to know that much about, and we're not going to go into it. So you can use the full text or a summary on these RSS feeds. And if you want to be search engine visible, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you leave this box unchecked. If you don't want your website to be listed in the search engines for whatever reason, you can just check that box and they will ignore you. Next is discussion settings, default article settings, other comment settings. Do you want to be emailed when someone posts a comment? Comment is held for moderation. Remember, I said when someone posts a comment, if you don't want it to go automatically to your website, you click this and it will email you and you get to go over and approve it. All right, comments must be manually approved. Comment author must have a previously approved comment. You can change this however you want to manage the website. Okay, so just read through here, click on what's there. Typically I will leave everything as defaulted, although I do want comments manually approved just to keep a handle on the bozos out there. And trust me, there are a lot of bozos out there. You can change the avatar that displays on the site. Just going to go through here and take a look and set it however you want it. I'm not going to go into it in depth because it's very self-explanatory. Then media settings. This determines how thumbnails, medium size, large size, are determined on your site. You'll recall that when I added media into a blog post, it asks me, did I want to use the normal size, medium, or thumbnail size? This is where you determine that. If I want my thumbnails to be larger, I can make them larger. If I want them to be smaller, I can make them smaller. So that's what the media page is for. Typically, again, I would leave it set to whatever your theme has set it at. And lastly, let's talk about permalinks. Again, permalinks, that's the URL that WordPress assigns to each post or page that you create. Now, you can see there's a variety of here how you can do it. You can do plain, which means it issues the post a numeric value, which doesn't really help you much on search engines. You can add the day and name, the month and name, the numeric value alone, or the post name. Or you can do a custom structure where you just click on that and you tell it whatever it is you want it to do. Now, I like things simple. I'm just going to do post name. So there's no need for that to be in there. So when I do go and create something, for example, if I create the About Us page, you can look up here and it says About Us. If I go over to one of the articles, all right, now you'll notice when I posted this, I had it set where it was doing year, day, month, and then the title. I don't really want it to do that. I just want it to do the post name. So I'm going to click on post name, and I'm going to click on Save Changes. Sorry about that. And you'll see the URL is now changed. It removed the data. It is now this nomenclature here. All right. So again, I like to use that one simply because it does put in keywords that the search engines can find very easily. Now, if I want to, I can actually, as you know, go back into the article itself and change the name. For example, if I go back over into that post, so you can see the permalink here is driven by the title. Now, one thing I can do is if I don't want that title showing, I can actually edit that permalink and call it something else. For example, let's call this puppy marketing. Click OK. Click Update. And when I click to go to the link now, you can see the URL is no longer this is how you market. It has been changed to puppy marketing, and it will change the links across the website. So that's the tutorial there on settings. Again, if you have any questions, I do encourage you to read the documentation for settings because a lot of the settings change depending on your themes. So go in here, read the help files. You'll find, I think, that you don't really have to use settings all of that much. I think the only time I've used settings is just to change how many articles are appearing on the home page and how to deal with permalinks. So if you like things the way they are, you'll never have to touch it. But again, when you go into settings, just keep in mind when you do change something in settings, it changes the setting throughout your posts and throughout your blog. So make sure you're not hosing something by mistake, and you should be okay.